Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your Raw results, WWE main event results. Happy birthday goes to birthdays from September 6th, the Barbarian. He was born 1958. Wendy Richter, 1961. Jillian, 1980. Braun Strowman, 1983. September the 7th birthdays, Molly Holly. She was born 1977. Timothy Well from the Well Done Tag Team. He was born 1961. He was born September the 8th. Also on the 8th. Raven. He was born 1964. And also ECW, former. Also WCW. Lodi. He was born 1970. On the 9th, Sarah Logan. She was born 1993. And rounding out birthdays. On the 10th, referee Mark Dwartz turned 34. He's a referee in NXT. Also, Hall of Famer Don Morocco turned 69. Former Tag Team Champion Trevor Murdoch turned 38. And former TNA Tag Team Champion and Wrestling Inc. podcast co-host Matt Morgan turned 42. Yeah, the blueprint. Carbon footprint. And former WWE developmental head Steve Kern turned 67. Actor Burt Reynolds passed away this past week at the age of 82 on Thursday. WWE remembered Reynolds as he appeared as a guest ring announcer for WrestleMania 10 match between WWE Hall of Famers Bret Hitman Hart and Yokozuna. Hart took to Twitter and wrote the following on Reynolds and their recent meeting. At Bret Hart, I had the pleasure to see Burt recently. Although visibly frail, he remembered me. I thanked him for his part of WrestleMania 10. He was a real fan. Thoroughly enjoyed the event, the wrestlers and fans. He was a class act, and I'm honored to have been able to tell him that. Rest in peace. My condolences go to Burt Reynolds and his family and friends. Matt Hardy continued to release woken word of the week. This link, despite his in-ring status being up in the air, and here's below is the latest woken word. Broadignatic. You know what time it is? And Matt Hardy brand brings you the woken word of the week. And this might be the best one yet. Hashtag WB Mobile. And I'll show you that link. According to Swedish website, Sportbladet, the former WCW and Olympic wrestler Frank Andersson has passed away at the age of 62 due to complications after heart surgery. Andersson won a bronze medal at the 1984 Summer Olympics in Los Angeles. He would then make some appearances for New Japan Pro Wrestling and signed with WCW in the early 1990s. Before finally retiring in 1995, he did return to the ring to wrestle locally in Sweden in 2014 to 2015. My condolences go to the friends and family of Frank Andersson. And this link, current UFC 3 King of the Hill champion Marty Murphy took on WWE Cruiserweight Champion Cedric Alexander. On his Up, Down, Down channel, and Xavier Woods, Jack Gallagher, and Big E watched the fight from the sidelines. In the second round, Alexander's fighter threw a kick after taking some damage to his leg, looked to pull a hamstring and couldn't continue, giving Murphy the win. Intercontinental Champion Seth Rollins has been confirmed for the weekend WWE live events in Alabama and Texas. There has been speculation on Rollins being pulled from the ring due to a potential arm injury suffered from last Monday's Raw when he was thrown into the side of a police van. It looks like the injury wasn't that bad, and he is still scheduled for this weekend. A new WWE Now video with Cathy Kelley looking at how acting Raw General Manager Constipated Corbin jokingly tweeted about potentially trading Rusev to Raw for a washing machine. At that link. WWE 205 live episode saw Noam Dar defeat local competitor Brian Kelly. Kelly was played by James Alexander, who also worked Monday's Raw with Jimmy James in a squash loss to Authors of Pain from last week. Daniel Brooke continues to tweet about leaving Titus Worldwide after the blow-up with Titus O'Neil and Apollo Crews on Monday's Raw. Last week's Raw. And here's our second tweet on the new storyline. Dana Brooke WWE. At Dana Brooke WWE. Bittersweet. I must go on. Alone. Sink or swim, I will do it on my own. I don't want anyone taking blame or pride. In the past year, I've loved and lost, and grew stronger on my own. Let me channel this lesson into the ring. Hashtag WWE. Hashtag Raw. At WWE. Lanny Pofo, better known as a genius, during his WWE run and the brother of Macho Man Randy Savage. Ooh, yeah! Didn't necessarily squash the rumor regarding his brother and Stephanie McMahon togetherness. For decades, there has been an urban legend about Savage having an affair with Stephanie in the mid-1990s. According to an unsubstantiated story, Savage was blacklisted from WWE until his passing once Vince McMahon learned of the affair years later. Poffo addressed the rumor during the first episode of his new podcast in this leak. It is called the Genius Cast. Quoted by saying, I don't know if I knew. I wouldn't tell you because Randy was very private and I have absolutely no idea if that happened. As Lanny explained, I will tell you what did happen. Triple H had done an interview with a magazine and they said, what do you think of Hulk Hogan and the Macho Man? He said they are great, but they are dinosaurs. Evidently, Hulk Hogan didn't mind being called a dinosaur, but Randy Savage took big exception to it. Savage didn't appreciate being called a dinosaur by the game, so he did what many other rappers often do and went after Triple H's wife, Stephanie McMahon. Savage released a rap album in 2003, and in one of those videos posted on his website, he said that he was going to steal Triple H's wife to get back at the game for labeling him a dinosaur. I have absolutely no idea if the urban legend is true, said Papa. Like I said, if it were true, I wouldn't tell you because it's nobody else's business. There is only one other person who knows for sure, and that is Stephanie McMahon. Randy is not here, and she is not talking. So, let's give it the benefit of the doubt and just talk about something else. And he goes on about Hogan discussing Randy Savage, Stephanie McMahon rumor. Papa went on to say that Savage said some pretty outlandish things to get back at people, and many people took his quote about McMahon to be true and ran with it. Savage and Vince McMahon always had strained relationship, and that this urban legend only added to their apparent feud. However, Popo noted that Savage actually liked Triple H, but felt offended by his comments. Savage really liked Triple H and felt that Triple H had disrespected him. Well, that was his way of getting even with him, as Popo said. As exasperated everything, I didn't feel that was the best way to be. I don't do that. If somebody says, if you want to make something out of it, I would rock around the mud puddle. He walks into it and splashes into it, which is the difference between him and I. It wasn't until 3 years after his death in 2011 that WWE truly began to welcome Savage back into their family. They released a DVD documentary on his legacy in 2014 and then inducted him into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2015. Hogan inducted Savage and Lanny Poffo gave a speech on behalf of his brother. LA Lakers owner Jeanie Buss announced that she has signed to become the newest WOW superhero in the Buss-owned WOW Women of Wrestling. Knowing the expectations of our WOW fans to see the best in women's professional wrestling, we are elated to sign Tessa Blanchard, WOW owner. Jeanie Buss said, Tessa enhances and elevates our athletic roster of talent beyond measure, and we can hardly wait to showcase her skill in the series to set the broadcast on Mark Cuban's AXS TV. I am grateful to both Impact Wrestling and the WOW executives for working out the details to allow me to pursue my dream of competing at the highest levels within our industry, Blanchard said. The success I've experienced in the past month in winning the Impact Championship, winning in Chicago at the All-In event from in front of over 10,000 people and now signing with WOW is what dreams are made of. My next dream to come true, that will top off my year's success, will be when I beat Santana Garrett to win the WOW World Championship. The WOW Live event tapings take place on October 10th and 11th, 2018 from downtown Los Angeles at the Polaco Theater. AXS TV will record all the WOW action for broadcast beginning in early 2019. Tickets are available at Ticketmaster.com, and you can get more info about WOW at WOWE.com. Christopher Daniels, the Fallen Angel, took to Twitter to respond to fans arguing about the success of All In by comparing it to WWE. Daniels noted that he's not against WWE, but he is tired of being tagged by people arguing whether it or not 11,000 people at All In qualifies as a success or not. As you can see his tweets below, or hear his tweets below. In fact, Daniels, dear everyone, if you're bound and determined to argue the merits of All In versus Raw or SmackDown or anything WWE, could you please leave me the entire F out of it? The show I was on was a success. End of story. Full stop. Hugs and high fives. CD. The second tweet, at Pat Daniels, Joe, I'm not against WWE. I'm perfectly fine with them and their success. I'm just tired of being tagged by people arguing whether or not 11,000 people at All In qualifies as a success or not. Way to misinterpret my tweet. Poop for brains. Well, at Joe Nigerio, who he was talking about, at JSN2889, geez, what do you have against WWE? You jealous? You can never make it in the big leagues at Pat Daniels? Just like at Cody Rhodes couldn't like up to the WWE and the level at Goldust and at WWE Dusty Rhodes. Rip are on. They are two of the greats. James Ellsworth was backstage at SmackDown last week to film something related to the female superstars of the company. According to PW Insider, no word yet on if he was filming for something related to WWE Evolution, a WWE Network special, or a future DVD release. If it is, it's probably going to be a Carmella release. Rosa Mendes reveals her plan for returning to WWE. Former WWE star Rosa Mendes underwent surgery to repair her torn ACL and meniscus in Pittsburgh this week. Rosa recently returned to the Indies and has been planning to work more shows in the near future. She posted the following on her Instagram at this link. Can you see the entire thing? WWE announced the following superstars being nominated for People's Choice Awards. From Raw, John Cena, Nikki Bella, The Rock, and Nia Jax, nominated for 2018 People's Choice Awards. WWE will be well represented at the 2018 People's Choice Awards with John Cena, Nikki Bella, The Rock, Nia Jax, and Monday Night Raw itself, garnering 7 total nominations. And by the way, the voting doesn't stop until Friday. Cena is up for Comedy Movie Star of 2018 off the strength of his performance in Blockers, while Raw was up for consideration in the Show of 2018 category, competing against the likes of Saturday Night Live, The Walking Dead, This Is Us, and 13 Reasons Why. Nikki is in the running for competition contestant of 2018 for Dancing with the Stars, and reality TV star of 2018 for Total Bellas. Nia, who made Body Positivity the cornerstone of her Raw Women's title reign, will contend for Game Changer of 2018 in the category that pits her against trailblazers such as LeBron James, Colin Kaepernick, Ali Raisman, and Adam Rippon. The Rock is nominated in 2 categories, Male Movie Star of 2018 and Action Movie Star of 2018 for his roles in Skyscraper and Rampage, respectively. Catch your ballots? Head to pca.eonline.com or social media where Facebook users can post publicly or privately with one category hashtag, one corresponding nominee hashtag, and hashtag PCAs. Twitter users can send a public tweet or retweet with a category hashtag corresponding nominees, hashtag and hashtag PCAS. Head to the People's Choice Twitter account and they roll out the nominees or other specific hashtag to use. The window for the preliminary round closes at 11:59 on Friday night, September 14th, which point to the top 5 nominees will advance to the final round. The voting window runs through Monday, September 24th. Through Friday, October 19th, the People's Choice Awards will air for the first time on E! Network, Sunday, November 11th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 Pacific Time, and that will be 8 Central Time. Live red carpet special airing at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, 6 Central Time. And here's the newest video of Hall of Famer Alpha visiting the recent WWE NXT tapings. Triple H, the WWE former assistant coaches, and his protege, Connor Reeves, Terry Taylor, formerly known as the Red Rooster from WWE, Hall of Famer Larry Zbyszko, and others also appear in the video. Reeves lost to Cassius Ohno on this week's NXT episode, and you can go to that link. WWE has officially announced the first ever NXT Champion versus Champion match between UK Champion Pete Dunne, and NXT North American Champion Ricochet for the September 19th episode. Both titles will be on the line, so whoever comes out of that will be your double champion. Progress Wrestling has confirmed that NXT UK superstar Toni Storm will be cleared to return to the ring in time for their big September 30th event from the SSE Arena in Wembley, London, England. She will be facing Jenny and Millie McKenzie in a triple threat dance. Storm suffered an undisclosed injury at NXT UK tapings in Birmingham, England on August 26th during the NXT UK Women's title tournament. On the latest episode of Jim Ross Report, Hall of Famer Jim Ross welcomed Lucha Libre legend Rey Mysterio to the podcast. Among many things, Mysterio talked about impending return to WWE as well as his landmark 2018 working spots for WWE, NJPW, and independent promotions around the world. On the subject of possibly returning to WWE, Mysterio said the talks about another run in Titan Tower began as the two sides negotiated Mysterio's surprise Royal Rumble appearance. Apparently, they are still going back and forth on a return date, and the King of Lucha Libre will continue taking outside bookings until a return date is decided upon. And my guess is he's trying to work out a deal with him and his son debuting at the same time. We started off with an anonymous call in from a fan coming back for the call in for January about coming back for Royal Rumble, which was a big surprise to the fans because every time I go into the signing, they say, "Dang, Ray, I did not expect you to see you here." So I guess that started off the whole conversation about possibly making a return. We're still in the mix of it. We've been going back and forth, talking about possibility of returning this month and then next month. So the longer it extends, the more I get work outside. That's my bread and butter. That's what I do for a living. I'm just visiting, waiting for them to say now. Mysterio explained. When they say now, if the time is right, let's go. And Rey Mysterio says he wants to end his career in WWE with respect to Mysterio's historic 2018, which has already included being a surprise event, entrant into the Royal Rumble, WWE working the greatest Royal Rumble, debut for New Japan Pro Wrestling at Dominion, and main eventing at All In. The Master of the 619 pointing out the year is not over yet. I think God put me in the position to be where I'm at now. As Mysterio continued, I've been very blessed throughout my pro wrestling career, JR, and to be able to start the year with the Rumble, unexpected, and then moving on to the greatest Royal Rumble, and then still for the first time doing my show in New Japan. Wish that was checked off my bucket list. I've never been there before, and I was very excited and pleased to go for the first time. And the year's not over yet. All in, last Saturday, it was history. I just felt like I've been in the right place at the right time. Former WWE and ECW star Just Incredible, PJ Polaco, real name, has been arrested for the second time in the last 30 days. The news of Just Incredible being back in jail was first reported by Pro Wrestling Sheet. Connecticut state records show that Polaco was arrested in Waterbury, Connecticut on Tuesday for misdemeanor disorderly conduct, misdemeanor third-degree assault, and felony criminal violation of a restraining order. He is currently incarcerated at the New Haven Correctional Center in New Haven, Connecticut. Credible status is listed as unsentenced, but he does have a $50,000 bond, and this is much higher than the $7,500 bond he received for the August 14th arrest. Credible currently has a court date scheduled for Monday, October 1st, my birthday, in Waterbury, Connecticut. It looks like all of his recent domestic cases will be dealt with on that day. The following cases are on the docket for that court date: Tuesday's arrest, March 3rd, 2017 arrest, misdemeanor disorderly conduct, misdemeanor second-degree threatening. The December 1st, 2017 arrest is for misdemeanor second-degree criminal mischief, misdemeanor second-degree breach of peace, felony criminal violation of protection order. The August 14th, 2018 arrest is for misdemeanor disorderly conduct, felony violation of a protective order. Credible was very active on Twitter the day of his arrest, tweeting about several random wrestling-related posts. His last tweet came around 7 p.m. Eastern Time. That evening, someone made the following tweet from his account yesterday. All it said is, "Dad, call home." Fandango has been in Birmingham, Alabama this week to meet with doctors. According to PW Insider, the Raw superstar is likely in town for a post-surgery follow-up with doctors. He suffered a torn left labrum back in early July and was expected to be out of action for 6 months. SmackDown superstar Luke Harper, returned to WWE NXT for last night's event in Buffalo, New York, losing to NXT American Champion Ricochet. Raw superstar Tyler Breeze also worked the show. He defeated Marcel Barthel in singles action. And here are a few shots of tweets from Breeze making his NXT return. L. Krukowski, nice to see Tyler Breeze come home to NXT at hashtag NXT Buffalo. Juan Breeze at Prince Pretty Candid from NXT Buffalo. Photo credit to JMLNGLY on Twitter. And I think I got your picture for you. If I haven't, I'll post them. Don Callis is best known for his time in New Japan Pro Wrestling and Impact Wrestling. Callis also had a brief but forgettable run in the WWE as part of the Truth Commission. If you didn't remember, that's why I'm posting it, to let you know. On the Something to Wrestle podcast, former WWE producer Bruce Pritchard explained why it never worked out. And it can be found in this link. According to Richard, the original idea was to debut Callis and pair him alongside Rick Martel. Those plans were changed when Martel jumped ship and left the WWE for WCW. We also noted on Callis, who got put in that position because Rick went to WCW, as Bruce said, formerly known as Brother Love. I love you. That's his gimmick. The original idea for Don Callis was to team with Rick Martel and call themselves the Models. You know when he came out with the arrogant spray, the bug spray can? Oh, with the idea out the window, Pritchard and Vince McMahon tried to find something new for Callis. McMahon proposed the idea of adding Callis to the Canadian faction, the Truth Commission. Callis debuted as a Jackal in 1997 and was made the leader of the Truth Commission, but the run ended a few months later. Pritchard said that the character didn't get over with the fans at all, and nobody cared for it because it didn't generate any heat. So it was quickly abandoned. Now we're sitting here with Don, and Vince was like, well, Don is Canadian, so he can be part of the Truth Commission. We had Luke Poirier as Sniper and Bull Buchanan as Recon. As Preacher said, it was a hodgepodge. I don't know if it was an idea that anybody really got about this South African dictator. I don't know if it was big news in the United States of America. They didn't get it. Just didn't work. It wasn't a good idea, and it just didn't work. Didn't they try that same gimmick in WCW? Right to censor with Stevie Richards. It was the same look. Suit pants, dress shirt. You know what I'm talking about. This week's episode of Major League Wrestling's Fusion comes to us from New York City and opens up with a video package looking at the tag team champions, Pentagon Jr. and Ray Phoenix, the Lucha Brothers, and gave a quick glance at their new business relationship with Conan. Different company. So there you go. Well, they are Luchas. Steven DeAngelis welcomes us to the show and introduces the first match featuring most marketable Richard Holiday and his MLW debut, taking on Fred Yehi of the Team Filthy. Color commentary by Matt Striker, formerly of WWE, noted that Holiday was trained by former WWE and WCW star Pretty Paul Roma. Now remember Pretty Wonderful? Well, there you go. So that faction. Fred Yehi versus Richard Holiday. Grappling to begin the match. Yehi initially got the better of Holiday after gaining advantage of following a shoulder tackle. Holiday is greeted with jeers while trying to play the crowd, which allowed Yehi to regain the advantage. Commentator Tony Schiavone, remember him, pointed out that trying too hard to get the crowd's approval is a problem of too many young wrestlers these days. Vertical suplex into a swinging neckbreaker by Holiday got a 2 count, which greatly impressed Schiavone. Weak-looking rolling elbow, and Holiday doesn't phase Yehi, who manages to put Holiday on the ground with a Koji clutch variation and got a submission after a series of UFC-style elbow thrusts. Yehi celebrated after the match with fellow Filthy team member Simon Gotch, also formerly of WWE, and also Tom Lawler. Winner of the match, Fred Yehi. A recap of last week's show. The new Hart Foundation of Davey Boy Smith Jr. Teddy Hart laying down what Schiavone described as a vicious, nonsensical attack on Kevin Sullivan. Maybe you were bad 20 years ago, Hart said, as he bloodied Sullivan. The Taskmaster, Kevin Sullivan. And I still think that he's the murderer of the Benoit family. But that's just me. I mean, evidence does prove it could be him. But this isn't 20 years ago. A conflict, Brian Pillman Jr. hesitated before ultimately cracking a cane over Sullivan's head and admitting he never respected him. Schiavone noted Sullivan is healing from a serious laceration and a concussion. The show cut to a wine drinking, shirtless and robed Pillman Jr. cutting a promo on why he attacked Sullivan. Sounds like a Stone Cold gimmick, drinking a beer. Acknowledging that he was in the prime of his career and youth, Pillman Jr. pledged his loyalty to the Hart family and called Sullivan archaic and slimy. Video package of Homicide's recent path of destruction was shown, including an assault on MLW owner Court Bauer before the notorious 187's match with the 50-year-old indie darling. PCO said that PCO is not human, Stryker said. Tonight he'll have to prove it against Homicide. PCO versus Homicide. The two began no-selling match. Other shoves, chops, punches, begging the other to hit harder. Clothesline finally took Homicide down. PCO took control. Classic power versus speed, as Stryker put it. Schiavone and Stryker put over how PCO has reinvented his career, having started wrestling in 1987 and becoming relevant again over the last year plus. Exploder suplex into turnbuckles allows Homicide to take back advantage. PCO keeps getting up as Homicide hits a neckbreaker, followed by the knee thrust off the top rope, which Stryker compared to Dick Murdoch, causing Schiavone to pop a comparison between the New Yorker and Texan. PCO hit a suicide dive followed by a moonsault, much to Schiavone's amusement. After a 2 count, PCO got back up for a wild splash and then another near fall. going to the rail one too many times. Homicide intercepts PCO's next attempt for superplex. Homicide gets the second win. Was all for nothing. And showing off his brute strength, PCO got the victory with a left forearm to the face. Don't neglect the basics, Striker advises other wrestlers watching. Winner of the match, PCO. Jason Kincaid was interviewed by a about his controversial victory over Jimmy Uta from last week. He's now looking ahead to middleweight championship and closes promo by calling himself the Goose. Because I'm the crap. I'm the sheep. Before the main event, we took a look at next week's return of War Games. Fallout from Sami Callihan's attack of Shane Strickland, which led to Strickland's losing of the MLW Championship, can only be settled inside War Games cage. Callahan, Abyss, Jimmy Havoc, and the Death Machines will face off against Strickland, Tommy Dreamer, John Hennigan, that's formerly known as Johnny Nitro, who's going as Johnny Impact now, Barrington Hughes, and Kodo Brazil. I cannot wait for this one. Next week, Shimoni Gills, Pentagon Jr., Ray Phoenix took on Drago and Horace. What is Horace Hogan? Doesn't say it, it's Horace. Different spelling, though. To close out the show, Striker and Shimoni go over the advantage of being a tag team of brothers. Pentagon Jr. and Ray Phoenix versus Drago and Horace. Drago, who has his shoulder wrapped, Pentagon Jr., starts out the match, but everybody is soon in and out of the ring, action quick and intense. In the spirit of Lucha Libre, kicks and bodies are all over the floor, flying everywhere for the first 15 minutes of the match. After kicking out of it earlier, a second attempt at a springboard package pile driver for the Lucha Brothers put down Drago for 1, 2, 3. The winners are still tag team champions, Ray Phoenix and Pentagon Jr. Phoenix on the promo, thanking the fans for buying a ticket and supporting their team. I feel proud because we won, and I feel proud because La Rosa lives here, Phoenix said. Pentagon takes the mic, thanking his opponents and starting a please come back chant for Horace and Drago, who made their MLW debuts tonight. The show closed with fans reviving an old Mexican wrestling tradition, throwing money into the ring as the visitors celebrate with their belts. Or victors celebrating with their belts. The officials have made overtures to Phoenix and Pentagon Jr., who held the Impact World Heavyweight title earlier this year. No word was yet on what came of the feelers, but it was also believed that both wrestlers still have 3 seasons left on their current Lucha Underground contracts. As there was a rumor going on that they were headed to WWE. But Pentagon said no, because his contract is still there. He ain't going nowhere. Over the weekend at PCW Ultra event, PCW Ultra Champion Pentagon Jr. somewhat addressed the rumors about going to WWE, like I just said. And you can see what he said here in this video. Respect that I am the PCW champion, and no one is going to take that away from me. Pentagon said, thank you very much. And before I forget, I'm not going anywhere. Penta will be in PCW for many more years. WWE apparently has had interest in the brothers for some time lately. They first asked fans about their interest in Phoenix and Pentagon during a 2017 July Fan Council survey. Earlier in the week, the MLW wrote the following on the current MLW Tag Team Champions. It has been an incredible 2018 for the Lucha Bros, and a monumental moment is on the horizon for at Ray Phoenix MX. That's his. You can follow him on Twitter at that name. And at Penta Elzerom on Twitter. You follow him. As we hear what 2019 holds for him, MLW may be shocked to see what's NXT. That's what it was said. Obviously spelling it like NXT from WWE fueled the rumor of both wrestlers heading to WWE NXT. PW Insider added that Phoenix and Pentagon have been very elusive on taking dates for 2019. Well, full results of the New Japan Pro Wrestling Road to Destruction Blue Justice 8 results. Yota Tsuji versus Yuya Umera went to a draw. Bad Luck Fale, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Tachi Ishimori defeated Michael Elgin, Ayato Yoshida, Shoto Umino, and Ren Narita. Tachi and Desperado defeated Hiroku Goto and Geto. Tetsuya Naito, Evil, Sonata, and Bushi defeated Minoru Suzuki, Azuka, Kanemaru, and Takumi Ichinoku. Kazuchika Okada and Yoshihashi defeated Hiroshi Tanahashi and Toa Henare. Tomohiro Ishii, Toru Yano, Trent, and Will Ospreay defeated Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi, Yujihiro Takahashi, and Chase Owens. Manabu Nakanishi, Hiroshi Tenzan, Yuji Nagata, and Satoshi Kojima defeated Togi Makabe, Tomoaki Hanma, Juice Robinson, and David Finlay. NJPW's next Road to Destruction event is Tuesday. Is on Tuesday, featuring Will Ospreay, Toru Yano, and Tomohiro Ishii versus Yujihiro Takahashi, Kota Ibushi, and Kenny Omega in the main event. At Shine 53, former Impact Knockout Champion Cena, formerly known as Allison Kay, won the Shine Championship by defeating Mercedes Martinez in the finals of an 8-woman tournament to crown a new champion. The title was vacant due to Lufisto relinquishing the title. Show you a picture of that as well. Netflix series Glow won Creative Arts Emmys for Outstanding Stunt Coordination for a Comedy Series or Variety Program, and Outstanding Production designed for a narrative program, half hour or less. Shauna Dugans is the stunt coordinator for the show and is the first woman to win this award. The 80s Wrestling Throwback also has Primetime Emmy nominations for Outstanding Comedy Series, Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series, and Outstanding Directing for a Comedy Series. Primetime Emmys will air September 17th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 Central. Pump Patrol's Johnny Flex of the Wildcat Sports Wrestling Promotion worked WWE's Raw event. He appeared as Nathan Bradley, teaming with Ronnie Ace for the squash loss to the Authors of Pain. And you can see him at this link during the match. Following matches for your spoilers for our main event episode: Apollo Crews defeated Zack Ryder. Ember Moon defeated Dana Brooke. Raw opened up from the Smoothie Center in New Orleans. Michael Colesall welcomes us to the show, joined by Corey Graves and Renee Young, who is now permanently on Raw. That I talked about a couple weeks ago. I told you that before. She sat out a week, worked out as a coach when he returned, and now she's back full time. But you heard it from me first. Nobody listens to Tommy. Only a few people even watch my videos. But I still give you the news where you can hear it first. We go right to the stage. Out comes Raw Tag Team Champions, Dolph Ziggler, Drew McIntyre. Showman was out last. He entered in the ring with all superstars behind him, including the Authors of Pain. Same guys from last week. They get so-called get their backs. Authors of Pain, Mojo Rawley, Drew Gulak, the Ascensions, and others. The heels surround the ring while Ziggler, Showman, and McIntyre are in the middle of the ring. They brag about destroying the Shield from last week and see a video package showing highlights from the week. As Drew McIntyre said, we'll show you the video. See for yourself. Showman said Reigns only has a Universal title because he's a coward. Braun says Roman has his hands of justice, but he has his dogs of war. Braun goes on and says the Shield has ran wild for far too long. Ziggler addressed the heels at ringside and says they did what was right last week. They stood up against the Shield, and they stood up for themselves. McIntyre says the balance of power in WWE has shifted, and now they are in control. The inmates are running in the asylum. They will continue the carnage tonight and set an example. Who do they think they are? NWO Black and White? McIntyre mentions that destroying the B team in the rematch tonight. Braun looks ahead to Hell in a Cell while he will get these hands on Roman. Music interrupts. Out comes the Shield from the crowd. Reigns, Ambrose, and Intercontinental Champion Seth Rollins. The Shield hits to the ring through the crowd. Ambrose strikes the heels at ringside first and starts taking them out until the numbers game comes in. Rollins and Reigns join in the big brawl. It breaks out at ringside. Ambrose pulls out a bag of axe handles. The Shield takes on the various superstars at ringside, taking them all out. Then they enter the ring. And Jinder Mahal gets blasted by a double team shot to the head. Back of the neck. Strowman pulls out. Strowman, McIntyre, and Ziggler watch the carnage from the stage as they retreated. The Shield stand tall in the ring as the music hits. Still to come, Ronda Rousey, Natalya, and Mickie James versus Mickie James and Alexa Bliss, who is now Alexa Bliss's tag team partner. They did this a couple months ago. Triple H appears live to address The Undertaker. We see video from earlier today where the Bella twins found the dressing room trash. Nikki Bella will face Ruby Riott tonight. We see the Bella twins backstage getting ready now. We go to commercial break. Back from the break, the Shield is facing off backstage with a group of police officers. Acting Raw General Manager Baron Constipated Corbin appears to try and calm the situation down. He says we don't need a repeat of last week. He says the Shield has to leave the building or they will have to give up their titles and they will go to jail for a long time. Reigns, Ambrose, and Rollins drop their axe handles and walk away. But that's not the end of it. As you'll see later on. Nikki Bella versus Ruby Riott, first match of the night. We're going to ring. Out comes the Bellas. Nikki with Brie. We see the Riott squad at ringside waiting. Ruby with Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan. Bell rings and they lock up. They go to the mat and tangle as Ruby takes control early on. Fan chant for Nikki, but Ruby drops her with a shoulder tackle. Nikki comes back and drops Ruby with a quick pin attempt. Nikki with another takedown with a running knee. But Ruby gets to the top rope to avoid it. They lock up again and Nikki rams Ruby back into the corner with shoulder thrust. Nikki charges, but Ruby sends her to turnbuckle face first. More like snake eyes. Ruby keeps control and slams Nikki for a 2 count. Nikki unloads and comes back out of nowhere and mounts Ruby as Brie cheers her on. Ruby drops Nikki with a kick to the top rope into the throat against the ropes. Ruby talks trash from the ringside as they go to commercial. Back from the ring, Ruby remains in control inside the ring. Ruby drops Nikki with a knee to the nose. Nikki with a spine buster out of nowhere. Ruby charges with Nikki, blocks and delivers a knee, then a clothesline. Nikki with another clothesline and a drop kick as the fans cheer her on. Ruby cuts Nikki off as they do the yes, yes, yes chant for the crowd. Ruby cuts Nikki off with a kick. Nikki counters in the corner and drops Ruby on her face. Nikki with a big kick in midair from the second rope. More like a missile drop kick for a 2 count. Nikki knocks Logan off the apron, and Ruby takes advantage and drops her with an STO for a close 2 count. Ruby with boots to the face while taunting Nikki. Nikki catches the Riott kick and ends up scooping Ruby on her shoulders. Liv runs in for a distraction, but Brie stops her and pulls her out to the floor. Brie then drops Liv on the floor. Nikki nails a rack attack 2.0 on Ruby for the pinfall. After the match, Brie joins Nikki in the ring. They pose as the music hits. We go to replays. We see and then we got still to come segment. Ronda Rousey teams with Natalya and the B team. Gets a title shot rematch. Also, we'll look back at last week's segment with The Undertaker and WWE Hall of Famer Shawn Michaels. We go to commercial. Back from the break, Cole's Hall leads us to a video for Connor's Cure and Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month. Big Show comes out on stage to introduce the superstars of tomorrow. And we see Big Show standing with several cancer patients dressed in their WWE superhero gimmicks. And the show says, everybody that's on stage here tonight is from Louisiana. And the crowd pops wild. Show gives them a grand introduction to each of the kids by their gimmick name. And then Coleslaw leads us to a video package on last week's in-ring confrontation between The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. Still to come segment, Triple H will be here live. And in that, you had the Warrior Award winner. What have you? 205 Live General Manager Drake Maverick is backstage with Austin Fame. Of course, he's now their manager. hyping them up for their go out together. And he's also dressed alike with them. Formerly, they look like the Dudley boys wearing the camouflage gear this week. You can't copy somebody else's gimmick, wear like the Shield. Authors of Pain versus Nathan Bradley and Ronnie Ace. Back from the break, out comes Authors of Pain, a common wrestler. JoJo does the ring introductions. Drake Maverick leads the AOP to the ring. Two enhancement talents wait in the ring, Ronnie and Ace. That's Ronnie Ace and Nathan Bradley. Wrestler starts off with Ace and the destruction begins. Bradley goes to walk away, but the camera floors him on the outside. Authors keep control, hits a super collider in the middle of the ring for the win. After the match, Drake joins a common wrestler in the ring as the music hits, as he knocks the referee's hand down. So I'm raising their hands and just raises their elbows. Coleslaw leads us to a video promo for Randy Orton versus Jeff Hardy for Hell in a Cell. The announcers plug Hell in a Cell on the WWE Network. A limousine pulls up, and of course, it's none other than Triple H. He walks into the arena as a return to commercial. Of course, his segment is out next. I was thinking this was, I was trying to predict that this was going to be where he comments on Mick Foley saying that Taker's going to beat Triple H in Hell in a Cell. But I was wrong. So I was 50-50 on predictions for the last 2 weeks. Back from the break, out comes Triple H to a pop. Triple H talks about how the legends have been predicting his match with The Undertaker at WWE Super Show down in Australia. As expected, the poll had more people picking Taker to win as well. It even showed 81% picking Taker to win and only 19% for Triple H. The polls have been predicted don't bother you or mean anything, or at least they shouldn't. Triple H says Taker was bothered so much when Shawn Michaels came out last week to give his prediction. Triple H doesn't get why Taker was so rattled by Shawn speaking of the match, but here he was, threatening Shawn over his opinion. Triple H says he watched the segment back a few times. He was mad because he thought Taker had lost respect for Shawn and himself. But he rewatched the segment over and over again and realized Taker has lost respect for Taker. Triple H says he says Taker was never the same after his 4 WrestleMania matches with Shawn and Triple H. He goes on and says those matches were Taker's last moments of epic greatness, and he blames Triple H and Shawn for the demise. Triple H says Taker said one thing last week was true. Now it's personal. Triple H says out of the last bit of respect he has for Taker, he will put him down at Super Showdown. In Melbourne, Australia, Triple H stares at the camera and drops the mic like CM Punk does his pipe bomb. And he exits. That's the music it is. He announced to show us tonight's opening segment. We saw the Shield doing battle with the axe handles. We also see how constipated Corbin ordered the Shield out of the arena. We see what police officers standing outside to make sure that the Shield doesn't try to come back. Coleslaw reminds us of Rollins and Reigns will have to forfeit their titles if they come back in. Still to come segment, Mick Foley is here. We see Alexa Bliss talking to Alicia Fox and Mickie James backstage. Raw Tag Team title match, B-Team versus Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre. We go to the ring, and out comes Raw Tag Team Champions Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler. Back to commercial. Back from the ring, out comes the B-Team, Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas. We get formal ring instructions from JoJo. Dallas starts off with Ziggler as they trade holds on the mat. Ziggler elbows Dallas off and drops him with a big right hand. Ziggler does a drop kick, talks some trash. Dallas with a neck breaker for a 2 count. Dallas stomps away in the corner as Axel cheers him on. Axel tags in and unloads on Ziggler in the corner. Dallas comes back in off a quick tag as Ziggler to keep Ziggler down. Axel comes back in for more double teaming. Axel with a DDT for a 2 count. Ziggler turns around on Axel in the corner. Ziggler talks trash, but Axel comes swinging out of the corner. Ziggler ends up dropping Axel with a super kick. Drew tags in and knocks Axel off the apron with a big boot. And we go to commercial. Back from the break, Drew remains in control. Drew with a big suplex for a 2 count. Drew keeps Axel down and talks trash in his face now. Dallas tries to rally the crowd, but Axel shuts down again. Ziggler takes back in for a double team move. Drew slams Axel on his head. Ziggler covers for a 2 count as Dallas breaks up the pin. Axel counters and Ziggler launches him face first into the turnbuckle. Ziggler tries to stop Axel from tagging, but he gets kicked back. Dallas tags in and unloads on Ziggler, knocking McIntyre off the apron as well. Dallas floors Ziggler with a tackle for a close 2 count. Dallas is ready to put Ziggler away. McIntyre provides an assist from the outside. Dallas throws Ziggler up, but Drew comes in and breaks up the pin. Drew drops Axel with a headbutt as he comes in. Ziggler with a rake to the eyes of Dallas as the referee is distracted, and they hit the zigzag Claymore combo on Dallas for the pinfall and retain as champions. After the match, the champions stand tall as the music hits. Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins suddenly hit the ring and attack McIntyre and Ziggler. They send McIntyre out to the floor and double team Ziggler now. Drew pulls Ziggler to safety and avoids a stomp. McIntyre grabs the titles as they retreat up the ramp as Rollins' music hits. Still to come segment, Mick Foley will be here. Coleslaw leads us to a video package on Foley's legendary Hell in a Cell match with The Undertaker of 1998. Foley will be here tonight. KO versus Tyler Breeze. We go to ring, out comes KO. Back to commercial. Back for the break, Constipated Corbin is arguing with Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose backstage. They argue that the Shield is gone for tonight. They come back into the arena and just 2 people, Ambrose and Rollins. There's all 3, and they did drop the axe handles. Well, when they come back in, like I said, Constipated One says they knew what he meant, and this is disrespecting his authority. Corbin says he's going to have them get arrested again. They wonder if Corbin was the one who had them arrested last week. They go on and bring in the real local sheriff. He reads Corbin his Miranda rights momentarily, but gets interrupted. He goes to arrest him. He only said half the things, half the Miranda rights. Constipated One asks the sheriff to hold on so he can discuss with Rollins in private. They talk as Ambrose and the sheriff walk out. Ambrose talks with the sheriff until Rollins comes walking out. Rollins laughs and says they won't need to press charges on Corbin. At least not now. We'll go back to the ring, and Owens waits as Tyler Breeze makes his way out, doing a selfie stuff. and before he gets in the ring, Owens rocks him and knocks him out. Sending him into the barrier next. They return to the ring, and Breeze fights back. Breeze stuns Owens and sends him to the floor. Bell hasn't ring yet. Breeze follows, but Owens drops him with a super kick. Owens power bombs Breeze on the edge of the apron next. Owens yells out as the referee warns him. We get a replay on the apron power bomb. Owens takes a mic and says Baron Corbin recognizes his value as the MVP of Raw when he quit last week or 2 weeks ago. Owens says he returned to Raw under one condition. He's not held accountable for what he does to his opponents. His job is now to do what he wants, when he wants. What he just did to due to that embarrassment Breeze was just doing his job. Helping take out the Shield last week was just doing his job. He did it because he wanted to, because he's tired of the Shield. Owens says he'll do what he wants and no one can do anything about it. But there is one person he can blame, Bobby Lashley. Well, Bobby Lashley is the sick maniac who intentionally injured Owens' best friend, Sami Zayn. Lashley's wife, Sami, has been on the shelf for months and not at Owens' side where he belongs. Owens says he quit because of Lashley, but Lashley is also the reason why he's back. What he did to Lashley last week was just the beginning, and everyone better get it right because it is still the Kevin Owens show. Owens says we can now expect 3 things on his show: anarchy, agony, and destruction. And it's all Lashley's fault. And then he drops the mic and walks out to end his segment. Calls off. Leads us to a video package of Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles in the Hell in a Cell. And that's then plugged to WWE Network. Bobby Roode and Chad Gable versus the Ascension. We got to the ring. Out comes the new tag team of Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. Well, this is the second week in a row. We got a sidebar video of Roode talking about how the Raw Tag Team division is about to become absolutely glorious. With Gable at his side, we go to commercial. Back for the break, Ascension is out, Connor and Victor. This is a rematch from last week's Raw. Gable unloads on Victor and knocks Connor off the apron. Gable with more suplexes. 3 or 4 or 5 of them in a row. Different ones, variations. And Connor comes right back and floors Gable. Essentially keeps Gable in the corner for a double teaming. Victor drops Gable for a close 2 count. Keeping him grounded. Gable slides out of the hold and goes to tag Rude, but Victor stopped him. Victor tried to knock Rude off the apron, but missed. Gable dropped Victor and tagged in Rude. Rude unloaded on Victor and also knocked Connor off the apron. Rude runs into Victor's boot in the corner. Rude comes right back and nails a spine buster. Rude calls for the finish, but Gable tags himself in, and Rude doesn't look thrilled. Gable ends up hitting the suplex on Victor and holding on the bridge for the win. More like the perfect plex. More like it was belly to belly suplex with the bridge for the win. After the match, Rude comes into the ring and embraces Gable. They celebrate as Rude's music hits. As Rude barely got in some offense. 1 or 2 moves. He does his classic spine buster. And his DDT, basic moves, and that's it. Set up in the first finisher. We see Natalya and Ronda Rousey backstage warming up. Back to commercial. Back for the break. Announces plug. The WWE being up for the People's Choice Awards. We go back. Dolph Ziggler is ranting to Braun Strowman and Drew McIntyre about the Shield. Constipated one. Walks in and announces McIntyre and Ziggler versus Ambrose and Rollins for Hell in a Cell. With the titles on the line. They're not happy. Corbin says he has one big reason for making the match, but it's his first pay-per-view. As acting Raw GM and Raw Commissioner Stephanie McMahon wants it to be big. Constipated Corbin says Stephanie also wants Braun to win the WWE Universal title from Reigns. Braun says that's good, but now he's going off to hunt Reigns. It almost sounds like I'm hunting rabbit. Ember Foot. Remember that? Ronda Rousey and Natalya versus Mickie James and Alexa Bliss. We go to the ring. Out comes Alexa and Mickie with Alicia Fox and her new look, blonde. Out next comes Natalya and Raw Women's Champion Ronda Rousey. Bliss plays mind game with Natalya before the bell. The bell rings and they go at it. Natalya comes back and takes Bliss to the mat. Bliss tries to fight back, but Natalya drops her again for a 2 count. Natalya with more offense and a basement drop kick for a 2 count. Natalya keeps Bliss down and tags in Rousey. Bliss quickly tags out. Mickie goes at it with Rousey until Natalya comes back in. Natalya goes for a sharpshooter, but can't get a turn. Fox tries to provide a distraction from ringside. Mickie ends up dropping Natalya with a super kick. Bliss and Mickie keep control of Natalya now. Bliss comes up in off a double team and works Natalya's knee for another 2 count. Bliss comes back in and Natalya screens for Rousey. Bliss goes for the armbar on Natalya as Rousey watches. Natalya counters, but Bliss keeps control. Rousey runs in and chases Bliss around the ring, outside the ring, and then back in. Natalya catches Bliss, and they hit a hard attack on her as another thing for her dad. Or actually for the Hart Foundation itself. Mickie and Fox pull Bliss to the floor for a breather as Rousey and Natalya stand tall in the ring. Back to commercial. Back for the break. Mickie and Natalya have Natalya on the mat with the body scissors. They take on the mat. Natalya powers up, ramming Mickie back into the corner. Natalya tries to tag, but Mickie slams her by her hair. Mickie taunts Rousey and takes Natalya back to her corner. Bliss tags in. Back in and they double team Natalya. Bliss keeps control as a referee warns her, and she got a 5 count. Bliss mocks Rousey next. Natalya catches Bliss and drops her. Rousey tags in and fans pop as she backs Bliss up and out of the ring. Rousey follows up and Mickie comes over. Bliss takes advantage of the distraction and nails Rousey, sending her into the barrier. Bliss throws Rousey into the apron rib first a few times. Bliss focuses on the injured ribs and brings Rousey back into the ring for a 2 count. Fans are chanting for Rousey as Bliss takes her to the corner. Mickie comes in and keeps working on the ribs. Bliss comes back in off for another quick tag. Bliss kicks Rousey around in the ribs again and applies another submission. Keeping the pressure on in the midsection, Rousey screams in pain, but Bliss keeps up the attack. Mickie comes back and they double team on the ribs. Mickie with a 2 count. Fans try to rally for Rousey. She drops Mickie and then goes for a tag, but Mickie knocks Natalya off the apron. Mickie then drops Rousey with another rib shot. Rousey drops Mickey with a clothesline and then goes after Bliss. Sending her off the apron, Rousey backs Mickey into the corner with strikes. Rousey tosses Mickey a few times, shows her how the armbar is done. Rousey locks it in on Mickey for the win. After the match, Rousey and Natalya stand tall as the music hits. Bliss comes from behind with a cheap kick to Rousey's ribs. Bliss quickly retreats to the floor as Rousey clutches her ribs. Natalya checks on her, and we get a replay. Rousey and Natalya stand tall as Bliss and friends back up the ramp. Coleslaw leads us to a video package for Becky Lynch versus SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair at Hell in a Cell. The announcers go over the Hell in a Cell card. Elias is backstage with a staffer, upset about the quality of the drink he's been given. Braun Strowman is walking through the back, as you can see him, screaming about where Roman Reigns is. Braun bullies another staffer and yells out for Reigns as we go to commercial. Back from the break, Charlie Caruso is with Natalya and Ronda Rousey backstage. Caruso asks about Rousey's ribs and her status for Hell in a Cell. Rousey says she's fine, and even if she wasn't, she would still be a Hell in a Cell because she's the best. We go to the ring and Elias has a guitar. Elias plays some and asks who wants to walk with him. He gets some heat from the New Orleans crowd and starts playing the guitar, but is quickly interrupted by a Hall of Famer, Mick Foley. Foley comes out to a pop. Foley says he's actually a big fan of Elias. He gives props to Elias for playing the guitar, but knocks him as a lyricist. Elias brings up Foley being here to talk about the 20th anniversary of his legendary Hell in a Cell match. Elias says, that was then and this is now. He says Foley is standing in the ring with Elias, but he's standing in the ring with a broken man. Elias knocks Foley some more, and Mr. Sacco chant breaks out from the crowd. Foley talks about how he made a proposition to Stephanie McMahon to come to Raw tonight. He didn't want to be the guy watching Hell in a Cell from home. He wanted to ring the bell or keep his time. Elias says Stephanie probably laughed in his face, and Foley agrees. Foley reminded her about the match with Undertaker when he was almost dead. He met Stephanie for the first time after that match. Foley reveals that he will be the special referee for Strowman versus Reigns at Hell in a Cell inside the cell. And to finish off the segment, Foley does a bang bang gimmick, looks to leave, but Elias talks some trash. Stephanie also allowed Foley to make one match tonight. For old time's sake, Foley brings out Elias' partner, Finn Balor. Back to commercial, and Balor makes his way out. Balor versus Elias. Back for the break, Strowman is backstage on a rampage looking for Roman Reigns. We return to the ring and the match is underway. They go at it, and Elias takes control. He drops Balor off the ropes and covers for a 2 count. Elias keeps Balor grounded in the middle of the ring now. Elias keeps control and manhandles Balor in the corner as the referee counts. Balor tries to fight back, but Elias whips him hard into the corner as he goes down. Elias wants another quick pin attempt. Elias keeps Balor grounded again. Balor creates an opening and drop kicks Elias. Balor will stop to the chest now. Balor gets a pop and charges in with a sling blade to Elias. Elias comes back with a flying knee for a 2 count. We go to commercial with Elias in control. Back from the break, Balor dumps Elias out of the ring. Balor runs the ropes for a dive, but Elias runs in and clotheslines him. Elias with another 2 count. Balor counters and drops Elias for another pin attempt. Elias cuts Balor off and hits a sit-down power bomb for a 2 count. Elias chops Balor into the corner and takes him to the top. Elias with a big chop in the corner. Elias climbs up, but Balor sends him to the mat. Elias moves out of the way when Balor goes for the coup de grace. Balor ends up countering and rolling Elias up for the pinfall. After the match, Balor hits the floor and celebrates as the music hits. We see a video recorded earlier in the day featuring Bobby Lashley working out in the gym. WWE 205 Live superstar Leo Rush is there hyping Lashley up, running his mouth nonstop. Lashley says he's trying to work out, but Rush says he's just here to motivate Lashley. Rush goes back to talking Lashley up. Charlie Caruso backstage with Braun Strowman, who takes the mic and asks where Roman Reigns is. Charlie says maybe if Strowman goes to the ring, Reigns will find him. Braun says that's what he's going to do. We go to commercial. And then she backs off and it's like she's very afraid of him. Back for the break, Undertaker is confirmed for next week. to answer Triple H's thing. Who else is going to be there? We go to the ring. Out comes Braun Strowman to a pop. Braun takes the mic, says he's tired of waiting. He calls Roman Reigns out to the ring, but Reigns doesn't show. Braun says he knew that WWE Universal Champion is a coward. He talks about Reigns will have nowhere to hide inside the cell on Sunday. No one will be able to help Reigns, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, or special referee, WWE Hall of Famer Mick Foley. Strowman says if Foley gets in his way, the injuries The Undertaker gave him in 1998 will look like a paper cut compared to what happens. Reigns goes on and says he's taking the title on Sunday and sending Reigns straight to hell. That's Braun Strowman. Braun says Reigns won't be coming back. Reigns' music hits and out comes. And Strowman looks around for him. Of course, coming to the crowd. Reigns is standing on top of the announce table now. Braun marches up the ramp, and Reigns meets him. Reigns with a Superman punch. Reigns rocks Braun again, but Braun fights back, trying to drive him through the Titantron. Braun takes apart the announce table. Braun grabs the title, talks some trash to Reigns before grabbing him. Braun walks Reigns into the announce table. Braun climbs up on top of the table, but Reigns powers up with Braun on his shoulders. Reigns hits a huge Samoan drop from the announce table through the stage to the floor. They both are laid out, but Reigns gets to his feet first as we get a replay. Reigns gets up and grabs the title from the stage to a mixed reaction. Reigns raises the title in the air as the fans boo and cheers pick up from the crowd. Both 50-50. Reigns stands tall as music hits, looking down at Braun on the floor from the 3 or 4 foot drop from the stage, maybe 5 foot. As it broke like a trap door. As Raw goes off the air. There was no dark match main event from this week's Raw in New Orleans. Off the air. And WWE posted this video here of Raw Tag Team Champions Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre helping Braun up after Raw ended. The show closed with the Universal Champion Roman Reigns putting Strowman off the stage, but it's actually through the stage, with a Samoan drop. And also, after it went off the air, Hall of Famer Mick Foley, as a special referee inside the cell, Mick Foley took to Twitter, but there wasn't anything from the report. It was just Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns took to Twitter. And Braun Strowman says, it's going to take more than that to put me down. You have everything to fear and no one to protect you. The hashtag Universal title will be mine. Hashtag HIAC. WWE Roman Reigns, I don't fear monsters, I bury them. Hashtag HIAC. And that concludes my video for this week's Raw and WWE main event. As it goes past 1 hour, I'll have to separate it for my Daily Motion page. Thanks again. Peace out. See you on Mobile. Peace out. You don't know, just call me, brothers and sisters.